Welcome to another episode of Personal Study Insight. And in this segment, we talk about the revelation itself and how it happened and what actually transpired. And so I am Naniku Amampa. Today I have here with me
Anna and Karinata.
We will delve into the revelation and all that happened. And I hope that you will enjoy this segment as much as we do. Okay, so Sister Ata, would you begin to share your insights with us, or begin with?
Yes. So the Prophet Joseph Smith decides to take action, and he had been thinking about his question, and he had gone through a lot of experiences, and he went ready to talk to his heavenly Father. When you read from the verses preceding his revelation, you realize that he planned for that day, and he went there with an intention, with a desire to ask of God certain things that bothered his mind. And one of the things that stood out to me was actually the fact that he decided to go to an area that was quiet enough. He decided to kneel down, and he decided to actually speak out the words rather than just say the words in his mind. And I kept asking, why these choices and decisions? I think there are certain things that when we need to ask Heavenly Father, we need to give it some importance. The other thing for me was the fact that when he tried to pray and was seized by the adversary, it got to a point where he knew he was about to sink in despair. But God has promised us that he will not try us beyond what we can handle. And just at that moment, he came in for him. So long as we are still managing, I think we haven't reached that threshold that God has set for us. Once he knows we will sing, he will come in and help us. And the last insight for me was also, after he prayed and Heavenly Father came in to help him, you realize the light that dispelled the darkness did not come at once. It came gradually. And the thought that came to mind was line upon line, precept upon precept, how Heavenly Father does things. And I think lightness or light will come to us in a process and over a period. You get a little light and more light and more light until you get to the point where you have a lot of light. So I felt that was also significant of how Heavenly Father enlightens our mind. It's not like a boom and it comes once, but it's a process, and it keeps going until it brightens and shines within us.
Another insight I also learned from it is how we can become instruments for the Lord. One thing I learned was, even though Prophet Joseph Smith was chosen, but he allowed himself to be chosen. He had the willing heart to do it. So that was why he was chosen. And so as humans or as people, if we actually want to do the Lord's will, or we want to help in the establishment of his kingdom, we just have to be willing. And once we are willing, he himself will call us and then use us for his purpose, like he did with him. And also another thing that I learned that she also highlighted was the fact that he didn't stay at home. He actually planned it. So it teaches us the importance of certain prayers or certain requests we need from our Heavenly Father. Even though we tell people that you can pray anywhere, you can pray anytime, you can pray in any position, but there are certain requests that we want from our Heavenly Father that are so important to us. And if we are in such cases, what we need to do is we must separate ourselves from the world, let me put it that way, and then go down on our knees and pray, and if possible, we fast for what we want, and the Lord will give it to us. And the last thing that I also learned about his revelation, during his revelation, was when he was sinking in despair. Even though it wasn't really captured in the verse 16, what I'm about to say, but in the videos, in the church videos of his first vision, you realize that when he was sinking in despair, he cried out that, Lord God, help me. And then that was when the Lord stretched forth his hand and then delivered him. So whenever we are sinking, we shouldn't keep quiet. We shouldn't keep it to ourselves and be like, oh, the Lord will deliver me. We should seek Him to deliver us. We shouldn't just sit down and relax and say, He knows I'm a good person, He will deliver me. No, we should seek Him out and then He will come and deliver us. So
Yes, and we need to like double or triple or quadruple our efforts, because he said, I exerted all my powers. So there's like everything in him.
He was using it for.
Yes.
So personally, some other insights I had from his experience. His father has already shared the experience with their lives, and I just want to add that I was happy to know that God's light, His presence alone, it destroys every form of evil. His presence shatters every doom, and it rescues us from Satan's grasp. No matter Elder Holland would say, we haven't gone. I mean, you can't sink.
You've not gone beyond that mark.
Exactly. You haven't sunk way beneath the grasp. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Of that light which can grab you back into His presence. And so I really love that it was comforting. In verse 18, I realized that Joseph really went with real intent, because after this gruesome experience with the adversary, he still had it in him to ask the question. Like when I was like, this boy, after everything, you still had it in you to ask the question when you had just regained a little consciousness for yourself.
Or even seeing God the Father and His Son.
Yes.
I would even forget
And
the
the
question.
slightest sign of relief, he still had it in him to ask the question. And another thing was, I was so glad that even though he didn't state it specifically in that account, but then I think the fact that Heavenly Father in Jesus Christ gave him the chance to still speak, it is a humbling something for me, and I feel it was such a grand opportunity they gave him that talk. Then he would then answer you. I really love that. In that same verse, I feel his innocence and naivety also made me. I feel it makes me believe the account even the more, because I think at age 14 I would have had that same innocence and naivety that he said that it hadn't entered into his heart at that time that they were all wrong. It was when he was going to make that inquiry and then he was answered that he should join none of them. Then he realized that, oh, so they were all wrong, all of these years. And so I really like that experience, that Heavenly Father giving him the chance to speak, and even after all of the terrible things he had had with us, which we still have it in him to speak. It is important we go to the Lord with real intent. I mean, I feel when we do that, nothing can stop us from obtaining the answers we seek. So these are some of the few insights we got, and I hope that as we also read and conquer the scriptures ourselves, we gain more insights. We are thankful for your time, and we hope to see you in our next episode.
Bye.